episode of The Deep Dive. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us get these truths out there to everyone and make a difference.
Yeah, change the world.
We all carry these pretty deep questions, don't we?
Yeah.
About life, its meaning, what happens after. Imagine if you could just ask the universe those big nagging questions and get, straight answers.
Yeah, imagine a conversation that's been going on for years, giving insights into, well, everything. It's kind of the journey we're starting today.
Exactly. Today, we're diving deep into Conversations with God, Book 3. These dialogues recorded by Neale Donald Walsch. It wasn't just a book idea. It was this 6-year thing that started when he was at a real low point back in '92. He started getting answers from what he called a voiceless voice.
And our goal today, really, is to pull out some of the most surprising, maybe even challenging ideas from this book. We're talking time, reality, relationships, the afterlife.
Yeah.
All of it.
Prepare for maybe a few aha moments. Could shift how you see things.
Definitely. Could reshape things a bit.
So let's get into it. The dialogue kicks off with Walsh feeling, well, pretty unworthy, right? Questioning if he should even be writing this stuff down. What was the core message he got about that? About his own path?
Well, what's fascinating is how quickly it flips the script on self-judgment. The response he got was, essentially, everything in his life, the good and the bad, happened perfectly for his growth. And this idea that there's nothing wrong doing what pleases you, provided, you're not harming others.
Okay.
But the real kicker is this. Knowing doesn't come after experience. It comes before. It leads to this statement. Deciding ahead of time what you choose to be produces that in your experience.
So it's like manifest destiny, almost, but personally driven.
Kinda, yeah. Like fake it till you make it. But on a soul level, it really emphasizes our power in creating what happens.
Wow. Okay, so we're creators. And this extends to how we're made up, right? This triune being idea.
Right. Body, mind, and spirit. Not separate things, but one integrated being.
And conflict comes when they're out of sync.
Exactly, when they're not acting as one unit. And it ties into the 5 natural emotions it lists. Grief, anger, envy, fear, and love.
Okay, those make sense. But then there's this really surprising bit. Fear in its highest form becomes love.
Yeah, that sounds totally backwards at first, doesn't it? The analogy used is a parent grabbing a child out of traffic.
Okay.
In that split second, there's intense fear for the child, but it's driven by this massive wave of love, of wanting to protect. So it's not that fear turns into love, but that pure selfless fear springs from the same root as love, this deep value for life.
Ah, I see. It's about the underlying motivation.
Precisely. The dialogue suggests all thoughts are ultimately sponsored by either love or fear, but that really, underneath it all, love is all there is. Fear is just love distorted, maybe?
Okay, that reframes things. And if we're creating reality, that connects to the next big concept. This idea that separation is an illusion, even time. It says time does not exist as we think it does, that all things are happening at once.
Which is a total mind bender.
Right. And it uses this analogy of the universe as a giant CD-ROM.
Yeah, I like that one.
Where every possibility, every ending, every plot twist already exists. We're just choosing which track to play in our now.
And if you think about the bigger picture, that changes everything about daily life. The phrase, nothing matters, takes on a new meaning. It's not that life is meaningless, but that nothing becomes matter, becomes real in our experience, unless we choose it.
So we're constantly selecting our reality from infinite possibilities.
Exactly. And that's how it explains things like psychic phenomena, seeing the past or future. It's all now on the CD-ROM. They're just accessing a different part of the track.
Okay, if time isn't real, then what about the ultimate end time we all think about? Death.
Right. The book tackles that head on. It says, point blank, you don't ever die. You cannot. For you are life itself.
You are life itself, not just have life. That's a big distinction.
Huge. It means our essence, our energy just transitions. It doesn't end. And it describes the experience right after death as, well, the self, the soul just keeps going, moving at the speed of thought, being potentially everywhere at once, creating reality instantly based on belief.
Instantly creating. So your beliefs really shape that experience. What about concepts like heaven and hell?
That's what's so interesting. It suggests hell isn't a punishment place, but a temporary reality we create ourselves if we die with really strong, negative, fearful beliefs.
Self-created.
Yeah. But the good news is souls don't stay there. They eventually move away from it. And rejoining the oneness, or nirvana, that's presented as a conscious choice too, a state of, well, bliss.
And what about coming back? Reincarnation.
It states it as a fact. Souls choose if and when they want another physical experience.
And it flips the usual idea. It says the body does not house the soul. It is the other way around.
Exactly. The soul is the animating field, the body exists within it.
Which leads to a really sensitive topic the book addresses, suicide.
Yeah, it does. It suggests our human concepts of right and wrong don't really apply on that ultimate level. It even puts forward the idea that ending an individuation, what we call killing, including suicide, happens with the subconscious agreement of the soul involved.
Wow. That challenges a lot of deeply held beliefs about suffering and choice.
It definitely does. It questions whether prolonging intense suffering is always the right thing, framing it in terms of soul agreements rather than human morality.
And if our loved ones do move on, can we still connect? Does the book talk about that?
It does. It suggests we don't necessarily need professional mediums, though they can help. Often, it says, loved ones will find subtle ways to let us know they're around. A familiar scent, a song, finding an object, little signs.
Signs we might dismiss if we're not open to them.
Right, but it also includes a pretty strong warning about mediums who charge huge fees. The message seems to be that genuine spiritual connection or service comes from a place of sharing, not profit. Be discerning, you know?
Okay, good advice. Now, shifting gears a bit, the book really goes into our societal structures and the myths they're built on. It calls out this idea that humanity's first cultural myth is that we're inherently flawed, original sin.
Yeah, it argues that's totally wrong, that our true basic instinct is actually fairness, oneness, love.
And that this negative myth affects, well, everything. How we raise kids, our ethics, how we treat each other.
And it connects this directly to parenting. There's this really provocative line. No one is more ill-equipped to raise children than young parents.
Oof. That's blunt.
It is. It suggests child-rearing was traditionally, and maybe ideally, the role of elders. People with more life experience, more patience, stronger emotional development.
A community approach led by wisdom.
Something like that, yeah. A real rethink of the nuclear family model.
And speaking of rethinking things, sexuality. It tackles that too.
It does. It suggests the desire to couple and connect physically is natural and arises early. As soon as they feel the inner signal, is the phrase used.
And it encourages playfulness.
Yeah, play with sex and with all of life. But it advocates for a whole approach, engaging all 7 chakras, the energy centers, not just the physical, but the emotional, intellectual, spiritual, making it a wholly connecting experience.
So moving beyond just the physical act to something deeper.
Exactly. It argues that when we approach anything whole, it becomes sacred.
Okay, so if that's the ideal for connection, what does it say about marriage as an institution?
Well, it challenges the way it's often structured now, based on security, obligations, sometimes limitation. It argues love cannot be possessed, nor can it be restricted.
Freedom, not possession.
Right. It even shares Neil and Nancy's wedding vows as an example, focusing on supporting each other's growth, self-expression, spiritual journey, not owning each other.
That sounds healthier.
More expansive.
Definitely different. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, historically speaking.
Oh.
It talks about a shift from earlier, possibly matriarchal societies where women held more power and emotions were perhaps more accepted to a patriarchy. And it suggests this shift happened partly because men, feeling powerless or maybe fearful, invented the devil and the masculine god.
Reinvented them out of fear.
That's the idea presented. You gain control, essentially. And this led to suppressing emotions, associating God with jealousy and wrath, reshaping mythology. So distorting the concept of God and power itself.
That's the argument, that this historical shift messed up our understanding of both. The core message being, life isn't about power over others, it's about unity. Until both masculine and feminine energies see that, we stay stuck in separation.
Wow, okay, that's a huge historical reinterpretation. So if that's our past, what does an evolved future look like? Does it offer examples?
It does. It talks about highly evolved beings or HEBs, elsewhere in the
aliens, or just more advanced societies.
More advanced societies, yeah. Their whole operating principle is unity, oneness, the sacredness of all life. Completely different from our duality, thinking good, bad, off them.
And it warns us, right?
Yeah.
About an ancient Earth civilization that got too advanced technologically without matching spiritual growth.
Yes, a very sobering warning, that they destroyed themselves because their tech outpaced their wisdom. A lesson for us, clearly.
Okay, so what do these HEBs actually do differently? How do they live?
Well, first off, no willful killing of their own kind, at all. No anger, no rage as we know it.
Imagine that. A society without violence. What about stuff? Possessions.
Total sharing. No concept of mine versus yours. It uses the phrase, the car I am now with, like resources flow to where they're needed.
So no poverty, no one starving.
Correct. Doesn't happen. Everyone's needs are met.
That implies a completely different economic system. Or maybe no system as we'd recognize it. And their health.
They live much, much longer, partly from being in harmony with their environment, partly from the lack of stress, worry, hate.
And the children. You mentioned elders raise them.
Yeah, the elders take on that role, bringing their wisdom and perspective. It's seen as a vital community function.
How are they governed? Do they have politicians, laws?
Nope. No governments or laws in our sense. It's based on mutual agreements and these three principles: awareness, honesty, and responsibility.
Awareness, honesty, responsibility. Sounds simple, but profound.
And get this, communication is telepathic.
Telepathic, so no lying, no secrets.
Exactly. Total transparency, which probably makes awareness, honesty, and responsibility a lot easier to maintain.
Wow. And where do they live? Big cities.
No, they've moved beyond large cities and nations.
Yeah.
They live in smaller, intentional communities focused on that unity principle.
That paints quite a picture, a very different picture.
It really does.
So, bringing it back to us, here and now, the book frames humanity as being at a major crossroads, doesn't it?
Absolutely, a critical point. Our future, it suggests, hinges on the new cultural story we choose to adopt.
And the choice is basically, do we believe humanity is inherently good or inherently evil?
Right. Because that core belief dictates everything else, our decisions, our systems, whether they affirm life or deny it. As it says, every act is an act of self-definition. We're constantly showing ourselves who we are.
So how do we choose the life-affirming path? How do we evolve faster?
The source boils it down to embracing three basic wisdoms.
Okay, what are they?
1, we are all one. 2, there's enough. 3, there's nothing we have to do.
Nothing we have to do. That sounds passive.
Not passive, but a shift from striving and seeking, trying to become happy or enlightened or worthy, to simply being it. Understanding that it's already our nature. It's about relaxing into our true state.
Ah, okay. It's a shift in perspective from lack to fullness.
Exactly. That, it suggests, is the key to conscious evolution.
We've covered so much ground today. I mean, really profound stuff, from who we are, how we create reality, life after death, to how society could be.
It's a lot to take in. The core message seems to be that you are creating God, creating reality through your life moment by moment. And your assumptions, they're powerful. They shape everything.
Which leads to the final challenge, really.
Yeah.
The question the book leaves us with: can and will you create a new cultural story?
Yeah, and that fundamental question underneath, is the human race inherently good or inherently evil? What do you assume?
Because that assumption will drive your choices.
Right.
Not just for you, but for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely material to sit with, to revisit. The book itself says the answers aren't really out there. They're already inside you.
It's an invitation, isn't it? To keep having this conversation with yourself, to remember what you might already know deep down, and then live it.
As it says at the end, you are the life and the way. The world will follow you.
Powerful words to end on.